butler.
And so that kind of stuff, I think, in particular, is what's going to stand out to people and what they're going to remember.
Good work. That's one less Rad Roads to deal with. Let's get a picture together. Capture the moment.
Most of the casting was actually done here, just right in over here in our little booth. There was a little bit done in LA with some of the bigger names like Liam Neeson.
There you go. My goodness, just a year old and already walking like a pro.
On video games, you have to rely a lot on your voice if you're not going to be seen, you know, so. And over the years, I've done quite a lot of, maybe not video work, but I've done a lot of audio work, and in my early days, a lot of radio plays with the BBC in London, and Ireland, so there's a shift of focus you do have to make, you know, and trying to convey something through your voice and through the rhythm of the words that you wouldn't have to worry about so much if the camera was on you, you know.
Come on over here, son. Come on. Walk to Daddy.
There you go. My goodness, just a year old and already walking like a pro.
You're playing a character, you know, an authoritative character, obviously President Eden, and it's self-explanatory.
Old minds are like old horses. You must exercise them if you wish to keep them in working order.
The government should not be guided by temporary excitement, but by sober second thought.
You know, I love doing video games and stuff like that, so because I've got kids, so of course they always love that. I guess I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it.
Don't you, my darling America, deserve that? Don't you deserve a future free of war and fear and terrible uncertainty? Of course you do.
Malcolm McDowell in particular has done lots of video work in video games before. He just kind of jumped in, we did a little bit of background on the character, and then he just started having fun with it. And it was great because it seemed like he was relaxed and having fun, and he knew if he wanted to ad-lib some stuff or go a little crazy with some of the lines. It's good that way because it almost seems to me that video game acting is kind of like makeup for a stage performance. You kind of have to exaggerate things a little bit. When they go a little bit more over the top sometimes, it seems like what you and I would consider normal in a film. Whereas when you hear it just by itself, you're like, man, I don't know, that's gonna stand out like a sore thumb. But in the context of the game, it's great. So I felt like that's what Malcolm McDowell brought to the project as well.
You're simply existing, America. Postponing death for a day or two. Well, I'm gonna tell you, right here, right now, those days are at an end. The Enclave is back, America. We've brought clean water with us.
We have everything from a BB gun to the plasma rifle. Not to forget the Fat Man, the miniature nuclear bomb launcher. So when you fire it, it's this blast of pressurized air and rattly metal, and it's got a stupid dinner bell ring that I put on it when it's ready to fire the next round. Energy weapons were much, much harder. Those were the hardest of the bunch. There's not a lot out there in terms of stock recordings to start from or any starting point. A lot of the stock recording stuff sounds really bad. It's easy to make something sound silly. It's really hard to make it sound like this is a really powerful weapon and I'm doing a lot of damage with it, and not just have it be pew, 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 you know, or something like that. And I'll actually start with the stock, with the weapon recordings, in fact. But I'll take the low end of this one. This one has a real heavy, boom, low end slap, you know, that you're gonna hopefully feel in your chest every time you shoot it. And then the high end of this one, and then a little bit more of it is Foleyed. So I'll show you a few of the items I've got here. This is the booth where we normally record all the voice actors. So it's usually just one voice actor in the chair, script in front of them, and then the mic, and then me in the other room directing. But I also use this room for a lot of the in-house Foley recording that I do. And a lot of it is not necessarily something that I know right away what I want to record for the game. Like there's a specific robot or a specific gun or any kind of thing like that. Usually it's something at the beginning of the project, and I'll come in, find a bunch of props, whatever I think I can find from construction sites around the office, stuff like that, things off the loading dock, and just record making every little sound. I bang on things, I bend it, and file it all away in our sound effects library for later. And then as the game progresses, as I need to find something to use that sound in, then it's on hand, and then hopefully I've got it organized and named in such a way that I can find it when I need it. So one thing I found during this project was I got one of these 5-gallon water jugs from one of the nice folks up in QA, and I just found if I kind of inserted the neck of the bottle without hitting the microphone, and you get this massive, kind of real deep chest bass sound if you just tap it very, very lightly on the bottom. So I've got a few of some of the bullet shells that you're going to hear in the game. This is a 30-06, so you might hear some of these with the sniper rifle, whereas we used some of the smaller caliber pistol ammunition, like a 9mm, which was actually used on a 10mm, but don't tell anybody that. Classic Fallout sound, bottle caps. Every time you get bottle caps off of somebody, or give them bottle caps, or just pick them off a dead body, you're going to be hearing these. And these are just a different assortment of beers that I drank and saved up. And so it's basically just me passing them from one hand to the other, and that's about it. This is an ordinary wrapper from like a snack pack kind of cereal, and Captain Crunch or Cheerios or what have you, and this is the sound of the giant ants in the wasteland. A lot of the sound they make when their feelers are out or when they're moving around, looking for something, I don't know, kind of squeaky, a little plasticky sounding, and I'm basically just taking this thing and then scrunching it all together, and it makes all these little squeaks and rips and tears and stuff like that. So it's a lot of that mixed with other pieces of plastic and clear wrap and liquids and things like that for the ants. For some of the weapons, a lot of them are me just banging on HVAC ductwork. Anything where I can get a big metal ka-chunk, you know, when it fires. A little bit of that is in the double-barreled shotgun.
You're listening to Enclave Radio. I'm John Henry Eden, President of the Enclave, President of America.
That was something I had to figure out very early on, was the sound of anyone being broadcast over the radio. So sound-wise, there's that, because the rest of the sound, it takes place in the modern day of Fallout 3, which I can then go back to making it sound as post-apocalyptic and wrecked as I wanted to make it sound.